Are you sure?
Here's the 30-second lesson on what legends know. Never ask a bride why she's getting married. Don't wear a skirt on a windy day. Deodorant is not a shower. Don't sniff chili flakes. And don't forget, saving is not investing. Legends don't just save, they invest in mutual funds. Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The big story today is the swearing in of the Chandrababu Naidu-led TDP government. You can call it Chandrababu Naidu-led TDP government, or you can call it TDP coalition government. Because although Chandrababu Naidu and his party have really swept that election, they have won 135 seats out of 175, which comes to nearly 78% of the seats. That many. And yet, here's coalition partners. 8 seats with BJP, they contested 10, they won 8. And actor Pavan, very popular actor, Pavan Kalyan's Jana Sena, which has 21 seats. In fact, it contested 21 seats, has won all of the 21 seats. Now, that coalition has been sworn in today. If anything, this coalition, the core party in the coalition is even stronger than the BJP was in the 2019 NDA coalition. They had 303, which is 31 more than the majority. In this case, it's nearly 80% of the seats. And yet, this is a coalition government. Now, why it's a coalition government? Why Chandrababu Naidu set up a coalition? We'll come to that maybe towards the end of this episode. Let's first of all look at what has happened. What has happened is that Andhra Pradesh, and even before the partition of the state, generally Andhra Pradesh has given clear verdicts. Andhra Pradesh has given clear verdicts, and in fact now we see Telangana also, which was hived off from Andhra Pradesh as the state got divided, that also gives clear verdicts, because these are generally so far two-party states. In the past, say 1990s onwards, Andhra Pradesh was a two-party state in the sense of Congress party versus TDP, and then Congress party declined in Andhra Pradesh, that emerged out of Telangana. So in Telangana, it's Congress party versus the regional party. In Andhra Pradesh, which came out as a result of the bifurcation of the state, it's been one regional party versus the other. That is YSRCP, Jagan Mohan Reddy's party. Jagan Mohan Reddy, as we know, is the son of late YS Rajshekhar Reddy, and also Telugu Desam party. So there are two contesting dynasties in Andhra Pradesh. One is a dynasty that comes down from N.T. Rama Rao, the actor superstar who set up Telugu Desam party, and the second is the party that Jagan set up. His father passed away. Congress party did not give him the share of power that he wanted, so he set up his own party. So this is between two regional parties. Now, so don't let this coalition government confuse you into underestimating the power of Chandrababu Naidu. Chandrababu Naidu has now emerged among the, let me say, 3 most powerful regional leaders in India. Interesting thing is, all 3 of these super powerful regional leaders are all located in states on the eastern seaboard of India. There is Tamil Nadu, so Stalin in Tamil Nadu, I would say the most powerful of all, because he swept his parliament election, he owns his party, he does not need a coalition, although he has Congress party as a partner, he does not. He also does not need the BJP in coalition. So in his own right, he is the most powerful. However, there will be a little argument there, which I will come to, and that's the clutter. The other powerful leader, regional leader, one of the 3 most powerful regional leaders in India is Mamata Banerjee. That's also on the eastern seaboard. That's in West Bengal. That is the biggest state of these 3. 42 seats, Mamata Banerjee's state, West Bengal, sends to Lok Sabha. 40 seats, Tamil Nadu sends to Lok Sabha, and 25 seats, Andhra sends to Lok Sabha. Now, why do we not then call Mamata Banerjee the most powerful? That's because Mamata Banerjee is at odds with the BJP. Her rival is the BJP. So she has a very strong rival in the state, and that rival is also in power in Delhi. So she's always at odds with the center. Tamil Nadu, the reason I said there is a close contest between Stalin and CBN, Chandrababu Naidu, in terms of who's the strongest regional leader, so Stalin, he's very strong in his state. It's a large state. He's won all 39 seats. So Stalin could have this bragging right that I'm the strongest regional leader in India because I control the state. I swept all my parliament seats with my partners, all 39 out of 39. My state sends 39 MPs to parliament, but once again, he is in competition with the BJP. BJP may not have won a seat in his state, but BJP was a rival. And once BJP is rival in your state, BJP will also remain a rival at the center. So that power to that extent nationally will be diminished because you will be competing and fighting with the BJP. Chandrababu Naidu, on the other hand, his state only sends 25 seats. He hasn't swept them fully. He's done quite well with his partners, but he's not swept them fully. Nevertheless, his partner is the BJP. So he's one of the three leaders, three big regional leaders in India who can win elections by themselves, each one of them. Stalin, Mamata Banerjee, Chandrababu Naidu. Today, any of them can win elections in their state all by themselves. Yet, Chandrababu Naidu is the only one who has the BJP as a partner. And in this case, the BJP does not have a majority of its own. So Chandrababu Naidu has special leverage. That's why I would say it's a close competition between him and Stalin in terms of who's the most powerful regional leader in India. Now, this powerful, super powerful regional leader in India now is sworn in. You saw Prime Minister Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, you saw Minister for Highways and Transport, Nitin Gadkari, all there. These were really heavyweights of the BJP. They were all there. You also saw the pictures and videos of this long, enduring hug between Prime Minister Modi and Chandrababu Naidu, and see how many times the Prime Minister pats his back, and then towards the end, I think Chandrababu Naidu also pats the Prime Minister's back a little bit. If please remind me if I'm wrong or correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I've missed out something. But I'm not sure I've seen the Prime Minister hug any Indian leader, definitely one not of the BJP, or maybe not even from the BJP, hug anybody as warmly and as tightly and as enduringly as he has done with Chandrababu Naidu today. So this is the rise or re-rise or the return of Chandrababu Naidu. His son seemed to have said in 2018 when it looked like he made a big mistake by breaking away from NDA on the pretext that his state was not given the special state status, which Andhra considers to be its due because Hyderabad was taken away from it, the state was split, and they think they deserved it, but that wasn't given. And in fact, he was a partner with the BJP, and that relationship was going quite smoothly till 2018. And he was not even making a big deal of the special status. But as my colleague Prasad Nichana Metla, who's our correspondent based in Hyderabad, covering both the states, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, as he tells me that by this time, Jagan, who was in opposition, he was running a big campaign saying injustice has been done to Andhra Pradesh, special status has not been given, and Chandrababu Naidu is not doing enough about it. And by that time, Chandrababu Naidu had also begun to feel that his party was becoming a bit unpopular. There was rising unpopularity, and also that Jagan's campaign for special status was finding traction. It was in response to that he pulled out of the NDA and became an adversary of the BJP. That did not work for him. In the next election, where he was wiped out, he and his party was wiped out. Now that move by him did not work. 2019, he went to the polls by himself. He also made that demand. He made that center point, special status, etc. But he got wiped out. He only got 23 seats out of 175. And how many did YSRCP get, Jagan? They got 151 seats. In fact, this time also, if Chandrababu Naidu, as we call him, did not have his coalition partners, he would have got to 151 also. If you add coalition partners with him, 135 plus 21, that is 156, plus 8 for the BJP, that is 164. That's more than 90% of the seats, almost 95% of the seats. Now, that is the kind of verdict that Andhra Pradesh has been giving. That is winner takes all. So 2019, he got wiped out and he was seen to be in the doghouse. Didn't look like there was going to be a redemption for him. Jagan, Jagan had struck quite a reasonable relationship with the BJP. In fact, in these 5 years, he must have had 45 meetings with the Prime Minister. There were lots of pictures. But he wasn't able to get one, special status for Andhra Pradesh, and second, he wasn't able to get the funds he needed for completing a mega hydroelectric project. In fact, more hydro than electric. That is the Polavaram project, a project so big on Godavari River that it would have created a reservoir, and when it's completed, it will create a reservoir because a lot of the concrete work for the project has already been done. It's been held up because the state did not have the money. The state went bankrupt, partly also because of Jagan's throw caution to the winds. Welfare policies or freebie policies, if I may call them. This was, however, when the state was split, Polavaram was declared to be a project of national importance, which means the center was supposed to put up most of the money for it, but that hasn't happened. The project now needs 55,000 crores to be completed. When completed, this project will provide irrigation to nearly 1,000,000 hectares of land, 1,000,000 hectares of very fertile land in Andhra Pradesh, besides providing water for drinking, industry, etc., etc., etc. And this will also now be Chandrababu Naidu's big challenge and also big opportunity. Can he get some money from the center to resume work on this project, to pick up the thread where Jagan's government left it, because the government he's inherited is almost completely bankrupt. In fact, it's bankrupt many times over, because under Jagan's government, any money that government could raise, whether it was by way of grants from the center or any revenues that they raised locally or any money that they could borrow, all of that was spent on welfareism, subsidies, freebies, if you choose to call them that. I personally don't prefer freebies, because if it's welfare that benefits a bunch of people, I can't call it freebies. Freebies is something that you will say for luxuries. But the fact is, he was spending money that he wasn't earning. And that's the reason he's left behind a bankrupt state. In fact, it's just an aside, but if you look at the Andhra Telangana package, both now have incomplete mega projects, incomplete, messed up mega projects. Andhra Pradesh has Polavaram, which has been left incomplete simply because the money wasn't there, and Telangana, on the same river, Godavari River, has Kaleshwaram. And that project has just been so poorly executed and so poorly built so far that I don't know. In fact, experts say they don't know how that's going to be redeemed. But both these projects on the same mighty river, and this is the river of which waters both states share. At this point, all of this water is going into the Bay of Bengal. This water can be used by the peoples of these two states. Nevertheless, let's come back to Andhra politics. Challenges and opportunities before Chandrababu Naidu. The second one, I told you Polavaram. In fact, I could have made Polavaram 1, 2, 3, whatever, and made Amravati number 1. Now, Amravati is a capital project that Chandrababu Naidu launched the first time he was chief minister in partnership with the BJP in 2014. Chandrababu Naidu has a CEO style of running a state. So he functions like the CEO, he gets partners, he gets investors. So he thought he will build a new capital, because the capital of the original Andhra Pradesh had gone with Telangana, that's Hyderabad. So he wanted to build a capital, a more modern capital, to rival Hyderabad, or maybe even be better than Hyderabad. And if anything, this capital to be built near Vijayawada, in fact next to Vijayawada, would have been much closer to the coast than Hyderabad, and that would have been an advantage. However, while he acquired the land, 33,000 acres of land, it's not a small amount of land, a lot of land, he also used an innovative way to acquire that land. He did not just use the power of eminent domain and say, all this land is needed to build a capital, so I'm acquiring it, this is a compensation, I'm paying you farmers this compensation. He didn't do that, because one, it would have cost a lot of money, because compensation rates have gone up now, particularly under the BJP government, and after the last land acquisition law that UPA passed, now farmers have to be given a lot of money if you acquire their land forcibly or by using the law. And the second thing is, a lot of the farmers may not have been willing to part with their land. So he came up with an idea of land pooling. It's a complicated idea which deserves a full cut clutter in the course of time, not today. I will come to that. But basically, very briefly, what it meant was that you farmers, all of you own this land. I know it's fertile land. Give this land to me. We'll build a new city. When we build a new city, I will give you some developed plots. Maybe if you give me an acre, I'm just saying it notionally. I don't know right now exactly what it was, but if you give me an acre, maybe I will give you 2 plots of 250 square yards each in a fully developed urban area. So see the value that will be. I'm also giving you some money now, but I'm also giving you an annuity. An annuity in this case was quite large, that you have fertile land, you will now not be cultivating this land, so you will not be getting that income. So you will, annuity in this case was about 50,000 rupees per acre per year. That is much more than what most farmers would earn purely from farming on their land. So with this scheme, he was able to acquire this land. But he needed to raise money. So he went to Singapore. He was getting partners in Singapore government funds. He was in Davos looking for partners to build a city. And building a new city in India is actually a very exciting idea. It will get a lot of traction across the world. But then he lost power and this project stopped. As this project stopped and Jagan came to power, the first thing he attacked was this project. He stopped this project. He said it was a scandal and that Chandrababu Naidu had got a lot of rich people from his community. The Kammas are about 5 to 7% of Andhra Pradesh's population, Prasad tells me, that he had got Kammas. They are powerful people, a bit like again I discussed this with Prasad, if he can use that example, but generally you could say they are to Andhra what Jats might be to Haryana or Western UP. Landowning classes. In fact, the second name Chaudhary is also found among the Kammas in Andhra Pradesh, as it is found in Haryana or Rajasthan or in Western UP, where Jats would generally be referred to as Chaudhary Sahab. So Chaudhary is also a second name found there. Now, these were land-owning communities, many of whom owned land in this area, an area that was to become Amravati, but many others, Jagan alleged, because they knew they had insider information, they had come in and bought land in this area, so they will benefit from this acquisition. What did Jagan try to do? It became a dog's breakfast. What he tried to do was to cancel the project. If you cancel the project, what do you do with the land? Because you've already acquired the land. He tried to take the land. These farmers whose land was taken, they went to court to oppose the release of the land by the state government, because they would have preferred the capital city to come up. Also, Chandrababu Naidu was running this politics from behind as well. Why would he not? Because he's not doing a Tirth Yatra. He's also in politics. So courts then gave injunctions on the state government releasing this land. So this got stuck for a full 5 years. That land is available to him. And I think over the next 10-15 days, you will see quite a bit of activity around Amravati. In fact, the last episode of Walk the Talk that I recorded with Chandrababu Naidu, I think it was in his last year as Chief Minister. It was in a guest house come office. It was like a site office or like a camp office at Amravati. I expect him to be right there. Jagan tried for some time that he will use, maybe if he can't give this land back to these farmers, he will use some of this land to build housing for the poor. But he wasn't able to do it. One, because of the legal issues, court injunctions, and second, simply because he had no money left to do any of this. The fact is that towards the last couple of years of his reign, salaries for teachers were delayed. He made many reforms in the schools. He brought in English medium education. He did many good things, but because he was so short of money because of his distribution, that often his salary payments to his teachers were delayed. Again, people in Andhra will tell you that roads haven't been repaired in Andhra for a very long time because the state government simply did not have the money to do it. Now, you may have heard me mentioning some castes in Andhra Pradesh. Now, castes are central to politics everywhere. We'll not talk about caste in Andhra Pradesh in detail, except to say that it's quite complicated in Andhra. Every state in India has its own complexities. We know the neighboring state of Karnataka has its Vogaligas, Lingayats, OBCs, Dalits, the usual mix. Similarly in Andhra, there are Kamas, very powerful, very influential, about 5 to 7%, but very powerful and very influential politically as well. That is Chandrababu Naidu's caste. Then there are the Reddys. Reddys are in somewhat larger numbers. If Kamas are 5 to 6% or 5 to 7%, Reddys might be 7 to 8%. Then there is a large caste group. That is the Kapus. Kapus are about 15%. Now, Kapus, you can call them 15%, but they are also subdivided in many subsections, in some cases divided in terms of their geography, in terms of where they are located. So we are not going into all that intricacy except to say that quite a bit of the Kapu vote is protected for this coalition, Chandrababu Naidu's coalition, because Pawan Kalyan is a preeminent Kapu leader. I told you earlier on, I will tell you why it was important for Chandrababu Naidu to strike this coalition. So there were two reasons. One, that Pawan Kalyan brought in the Kapu vote or protected the Kapu vote or did not allow so much of the Kapu vote to go away to be taken by somebody else. And second, because Pawan Kalyan was already a partner with the BJP. He had remained a partner. He was a partner in 2014 with Chandrababu Naidu and the BJP. Chandrababu Naidu had broken away, but Pawan Kalyan had stayed with the BJP, and he was also a kind of go-between or the ambassador between the two who brought back this tie-up. Otherwise, the relationship between the BJP and TDP had become quite fraught. In fact, in February 2019, twice in speeches made in Andhra, February 2019, Amit Shah had called Chandrababu Naidu the U-turn chief minister, that he keeps changing his mind. But Pawan Kalyan it is who helped bring back that relationship. Of course, it is something that suited both Chandrababu Naidu and the BJP. Chandrababu Naidu won because it would guarantee better support from the center because the state is so broke and his ideas are so grandiose, particularly building the new capital, that he needed the center's help. Second, in today's environment, who wants to take panga with the center? Nobody would have known that the BJP will fall short of majority and substantially short of majority. So it was good to cover that base. And third, also to make sure that his rival Jagan does not go and tie up with the BJP because BJP had that option. It was important for the BJP because they had concerns about where they will get parliament seats from, and they thought if they have this alliance with TDP, it will guarantee at least some seats. So BJP contested 6 seats in Andhra Pradesh and won 3 of them. And it is seats like these that helped BJP compensate for the big losses they suffered in Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, West Bengal, and so on. Another important point has to be kept in mind as we study the politics of Andhra Pradesh. I have said earlier several times that the state gives clear verdicts. So winner takes all. The number 2 party gets nothing, not even a wooden spoon. In fact, it hardly gets a broken wooden spoon. Last election, YSRCP got 151 seats out of 175. This time they've got just 11 seats. But at the same time, don't let this confuse you into believing that the party gets wiped out, party that loses gets wiped out for vote share. Losers keep their vote share quite intact. Now, it is because Chandrababu Naidu or Babu was aware of this that whatever happens, YSRCP will have a solid block of votes, nearly 40%, even if they lose elections. He did not want them to be tying up with the BJP because that might have tilted the scales against him. In any case, it's a risk he would not afford because he's been out of power too long. A regional party like that cannot afford to be out of power for another 5 years. That's the reason he preemptively reached out to the BJP. Now, as I told you earlier, Chandrababu Naidu, a consummate politician, can always smell the wind, can always sniff change in the wind. Occasionally might have gone wrong, but more often than not, he gets it right. Very mercurial, very fleet-footed, and in fact, this is the season of the Cricket World Cup. So you may say that he has the most efficient footwork for any batter in Indian politics. You want to know more about him, where he came from? He actually started as a Congress worker in 1975. He joined the Youth Congress. He has a master's in economics from Sri Venkateswara University, joined the Youth Congress, was a fan of Sanjay Gandhi's. In the next election, 1978, I think he won the election, became the youngest MLA. By 1980, he was the youngest minister at age 30. And what happened? What was he minister of? Usually, when you are such a young minister, you are given portfolios which are not very important. The portfolio he was given may not have looked very important, but you know what? As life turned out for him, it was the most important portfolio he's ever got. That was the portfolio of cinematography, movies. Now, Telugu movies are a big deal, but because his portfolio was cinematography, he came in contact with the biggest personality or one of the biggest personalities in Telugu cinema then, N.T. Ramarao. In a couple of years, if he had married his daughter. In fact, even after he had married his daughter, in the first election that N.T. Ramarao contested after forming his party on the slogan of Atma Gaurav, self-pride of Telugu people, in that first election, even being the son-in-law, Chandrababu Naidu contested on the Congress party's ticket and lost and then came to the father-in-law's party. All that story and also how about 15 years subsequently, he carried out a coup against the father-in-law when the father-in-law had quote-unquote married again to a person called Lakshmi Parvati, and he thought that she was going to hijack the party. He took away his father-in-law's MLAs to a hotel, carried out a very efficient, very clean, very clinical coup. The father-in-law said, I will come back and get my power back, but he simply wasn't in the shape to do so in terms of his health and soon declined and then subsequently passed away. And this became Chandrababu Naidu's party. Now you want to know about his journey and his evolution in greater detail. I talked about this in episode 1309 of Karta Clutter. That is when he was arrested by the Jagan government. With the description under this video, I am also sharing with you a link of episode 1309. So check that out, the second part of that, for the details of where Chandrababu Naidu came from in his politics and how he's evolved and the many moves he's made in the course of time.